Hello and welcome to episode number 9 of the Hobbies and Happiness podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan.
And I'm Jim.
And today we're going to talk about playing tabletop online versus in person. And let's just get right into it. Let's go. All right, so today on the podcast, we're talking about a topic that I feel has been on a lot of people's minds who've been in the tabletop hobby space for the past year. Yeah. And that topic is playing tabletop online versus in person. Now, obviously, this conversation didn't originate in 2020.
Yeah.
But I feel like kind of the only reason we're talking about this is because of 2020. Now, Jim, in talking about this beforehand, you kind of rebuffed that a little bit. You don't really think that's true. And what I mean is you're not so much on board with the only reason we're talking about it is 2020.
Yeah. Just because it's been like kind of a thing for a while now.
Yeah.
So
it's
just a lot more people have gotten into it since the start of COVID. So
right. So I think the reason I'm more saying that the only reason we're talking about it is 2020 is not necessarily because there has been a lot of people that have quote unquote jumped into the tabletop bandwagon in 2020, but more so because that there's a lot of people in this space, and because of the nature of this pandemic where everyone has been essentially quarantined since, for about a year. Everybody has just been, okay, now we want to play all these games, but how are we going to do it? And it's been, okay, well, let's just do it online.
Right.
So it's not, you're right. You're 100% right that it's not like before 2020, nobody was trying to do this. Like, it's not like that. Obviously it was a thing.
Yeah.
But I just think because of 2020, it brought the discussion much more to the forefront than it was before then.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about, like you've kind of been in this space longer than I have. So I'll kind of defer to you. How long has this discussion kind of been going in just in this space? I mean, it's been going for quite a while.
Yeah. So I guess I could kind of just start with like D&D, right?
Yeah.
So the experience, sure you haven't played it, but the experience that you get.
Just please keep reminding me. Let's just remind everyone that
one day,
I have yet to play D&D.
One day. So the experience that you have, like sitting at a table with people and pretty much experiencing the stories, how they play their characters, how the story is going to unfold between your and their characters with the NPCs that the dungeon master brings into the table, and just the crazy things that can happen. Like, you're going to have these memories forever. And for a while now, they have websites, or you could even use Discord or Skype, whatever it is that you're using to play D&D, but not having pretty much like that physical connection with people at the table, going through it like pretty much together. And because some people can get really distracted when it comes to online stuff. And they're like, oh, well, I don't really want to be here tonight because I got the boys on this other call and they're sending me funny memes on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is.
Yeah, you mean those people who have like 20 windows open on their screen at a time?
Those people too, Dan.
So me, you mean like me?
Yeah. Playing online might not be good for you, Dan.
So you mentioned you've kind of touched on kind of ways to play, right, in what you had just said, and let's talk about that here real quick. So when it comes to playing anything online, right, there are a lot of different ways now. Where you can play basically anything online, and not even just play tabletop online, but more so meeting online, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, this space kind of evolved from these video meetings, and essentially what people have been doing for the longest time is using video meeting software, essentially, and basically making their own rigs to like a tabletop webcam type thing. Okay, and using those applications to meet with other people and play them online. So going into that, there's a bunch of different ways that people have can use meeting software, essentially, right? So I think the biggest one that most gamers know is Discord, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Discord has been around. I feel like has been around for a while.
It's been pretty close to 10 years now, I think.
Has it really?
I want to say so.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So speaking of Discord, we have a Discord. We have the Hobbies and Happiness Discord, which is always listed in the podcast description. Okay. So if any of you guys are on Discord and you want to join our community, please join our community. Yeah. We have a growing and ever-growing Discord. It's growing slowly, but we're getting a lot of people in there. It's just a place to hang out.
We got a fun community.
The thing that I love about Discord is like essentially it's like a community application, right?
Yeah.
Originally it was built specifically for gamers, video gamers, right? Like for video gamers to meet, not necessarily to meet and chat, but more so to just honestly to play video games together and have an application. Because back in the day, the in-game chatting applications, like for parties specifically, it was terrible. And now if
the game even had it was lackluster.
Right. So I mean, like Halo's probably like Halo and Counter-Strike are probably the two biggest applications that I can think of that people would use those group chats for.
Yeah.
What was I'm trying to remember.
I was going to say, but like Xbox?
I'm trying to remember back in the PS2 days. Okay. There was this game, SOCOM. There we go, SOCOM. I think SOCOM was like the OG. It had to have been one of the OG like party chat party games where people like really needed to communicate with each other.
Yeah, I do know that like when it came to Xbox 360 and the voice chat on those stuff, like that was good. But like other things on computer games, like it was just it wasn't even a thing.
It was bad. And I think that was Discord's original purpose.
Yeah.
From my understanding. But actually, Discord literally just had a rebrand. Like they changed their logo and their brand ever so slightly. Right?
I remember when it came out. I was playing League of Legends. Yeah, I remember when Discord came out. Yeah.
See, and I haven't even been on Discord for... oh, wait a minute. You know, I think I've been on Discord for like 5-6 years now. I think it has been quite a while for me.
I think I started when it first came out.
That doesn't surprise me.
Knowing
like,
my history on
Discord,
my games.
Discord is awesome. Like I think Discord is like the natural revolution to AOL Online.
The MSN thing as well.
Yeah, AOL Instant Messenger, MSN, Instant Messenger. Was it MSN? I think it's MSN because Microsoft stands for Microsoft. Discord is fantastic, but you know their original purpose, like we said, was to serve video gamers, right? Yep. But they have it naturally evolved into just a place for communities in general, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love Discord.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it's 100% what we're all about. Like we're trying to facilitate these communities and facilitate these interactions between humans, right? This human interaction.
Yep.
And sometimes it's impossible to do face-to-face, right? And that's one thing that 2020 really did highlight is sometimes it is an unfortunate impossibility for you to meet in person with another human being, right? So if you can't, here's an application. Here's something that you can use as an alternative. Now, it is nowhere near perfect. And what I mean by that is it is nowhere near the same thing as meeting someone face to face, right? But it's a suitable, in quotation marks, right? Suitable, quote unquote, alternative, right? Yeah. So Discord, I mean, it has evolved over time and it's fantastic. There's other applications that also use like this video meeting software. Like one of the big ones that I can think of for Magic specifically is Spell Table. Spell Table is a fantastic video meeting software application that essentially uses your webcam. And then you can set it up to basically take a video of your table in front of you, and then you can play paper magic with another person.
I do also think for Spell Table, you're able to highlight over the other people's cards.
Yes, you can
and
do
it'll
that.
tell you exactly what it is.
If it recognizes it.
As long as it recognizes
Have you ever
it, which
used?
is huge.
Have you used Spell Table?
I haven't yet.
I have. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is very, very nice. I use it a couple times when I was playing Commander with a few people that I met through my YouTube channel. It was fantastic. It's fun. Now again, there's a lot of variables that come into play, like how your setup is, how the other person's setup is. The nice thing that I like just about these applications and technology in general is it's come to a point to where you have a phone, great, then you can do it.
Pretty much.
Seriously,
the things you can do on your phone.
It's crazy. All you need is a phone. and there's so many like setup videos and stuff that you can just watch online that will just show you, hey, you have a phone? Here, just make this thing and then you can use your phone for Spell Table.
It's crazy. The crazy thing about technology is, Dan?
What?
I think it's about like every 10 months it doubles.
Yeah, it is something like that. Yeah, it's
something
crazy.
Along those lines.
It is crazy.
Like, holy cow. Because you think
crazy.
about where we are in like early 2000s and it's just like, huh.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, I mean 2000.
I remember having the Nokia, the phone where it had like
Snake.
Besides the game on it.
That was the game though, dude.
But it was like the Nextel. It wasn't even like the phone calls, like more walkie-talkie-esque.
Oh, yes.
If you remember those things.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Like, I have the sound in my head of what they made, but I can't like duplicate it with my voice because I can't do that.
We'll get that somewhere. We'll get that somewhere.
I'll have to find it and just insert it here.
Yeah.
So on that same thing. So also there was another one that I looked up the other day. Have you ever heard of Roll20?
Roll20. Yeah.
I think it's specifically for D&D.
Yeah, that's where I started playing D&D.
Oh, really?
And
that's right, because you did say you started playing that online with people.
I played for about a year, and then I started playing at Grapple, and I never went back because I hated playing D&D online. It was rough. It's a completely different thing, and like, if that's the only way you can get D&D, then all right, get it.
No, great.
But
that's the thing about these technologies is like if for some reason you can't participate in this hobby or this game in person, there is an alternative.
Yep.
And that's something in this thing that we are building. We are keeping all of these things in our mind.
Yeah.
Like, and we know that the way technology is progressing and the multitude of different ways you can reach people and have them interact with your content, and you, like as an individual or even as a business in particular, that you have to kind of evolve with the times,
pretty much,
basically, right? But also, it's not necessarily
evolve or get left behind,
right? Yeah. What did I say? Evolve or die.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like a business thing, right?
Yeah.
Like and I apply that to business, right? In today's day and age, if you don't evolve, you will die as a business.
Yep.
Like, especially technologically, like you see all these you see a lot of brick and mortar stores just going away because they're not changing up their business model, basically, right?
Even though there's something that they can provide.
Like they have something that they can give that has value, right?
Yep.
But if everything else just goes against them and they just don't change, then they're kind of going to get left behind. So that's kind of how we see this space kind of naturally evolve. I don't even know how we got onto talking. But no, it is crazy. Like we just listed 2 applications, right?
Yeah.
That you don't necessarily need a game store to go to play, to have these experiences.
Yep.
Now, in our opinion, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
But the option is there, right? The option is there for you, right?
If that's all you have.
Yeah, right.
Like, do that.
Yeah,
but if
sure.
you do have the option to go to a store.
Right.
Then
you also have businesses, right?
Yeah.
How is the business then, like your local game store, okay? sure, you have that option, but now your local game store has to think, okay, they have that option, right? They have that option to play Magic over webcam, right?
Yeah.
They have that option. What am I going to do to get them to come into my store? Am I just going to hope and pray and say, I have a table, they're going to show up.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get that human experience.
If only it worked
at home.
That,
no, right?
hoping.
Exactly. That's the thing, and that's what we talk about when we say evolve or die.
Yeah.
Like you got to do something, provide some other value or more value to get that potential customer.
Yep.
Anyway. So there was another application that has come along. Now this isn't webcam.
No.
But it is playing tabletop online. That's Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah. Dan, I've been so against this software for so long, but now it's just like so many people use it. And I'm like, all right, let me look more into it. And I look at it.
Hey, Jim.
What?
Evolve or die.
I know, Dan. I get it. But like I'm looking into it and I'm just like, oh, I really don't want to use this. But
no,
I'm also super close to getting it. So
yeah, I'm going to get it soon because when it comes to just creating content, it is I think it's a necessity for any.
It could be very helpful.
Yeah, any business or content creator who wants to produce content specifically revolving around tabletop games and the hobby, I think you kind of need to have it because like especially it's like if you don't have access to a physical copy of a game, you can just get it on Tabletop Simulator.
Yep.
Right. So there are uses that that I think it is very, very beneficial to have. And again, it's another thing to where you can have these experiences, again, quote unquote. Okay, experiences in quotation marks.
Yeah.
You can have these experiences and play these games without having to leave your home, right? So you have that capability. So Tabletop Simulator is a way that you can get into these games, right? Mm-hmm. All right, and then the last thing I have listed here is just other video game applications, right? Yeah. And the ones that I have listed are Magic Arena, Pokemon TCG Online, and then like Hearthstone. Hearthstone is obviously a digital only card game. Yeah. But
it still gets your Magic fix.
Correct. So essentially what I was trying to get with this is with Magic Arena and online, MTG Online, right? Mm-hmm. You can play Magic on your computer. Mm-hmm. There is a specific application with its own user interface that is specifically revolving around playing Magic, right? Yep. It's different from TTS, Tabletop Simulator, which you can play Magic through Tabletop Simulator. But the nice thing about applications like Magic Arena is, you can play it. It looks very nice. It looks very polished,
very flashy,
and you can get into games very quickly.
Yeah.
So those are pretty much all of the ways essentially that you have of participating in this hobby through your computer online, essentially.
One thing I want to add as well. So I know that we were talking about the differences between playing online. So let's bring up the Magic Arena or whether it's any card game or board game. Mm-hmm. So playing online, it's kind of like you're getting practice in for when you do decide to go into paper or play it with people at a table.
Yeah.
But the experiences or what you're looking for necessarily. So it's like if you just want to grind out games, solo queue, then like playing online is great.
Yeah.
If you're looking to more so hang out with people, meet new people, whatever it is, going into paper Magic, into a store, it's a completely different experience than just grinding games out and getting to a high rank.
Right. So. I think all of these ways to play, essentially, they all have their use.
Oh yeah.
Right. They all have a specific application and how they're used. Like if you're going to a tournament, let's say a regional tournament for Magic, right? And you have your deck, or let's say you're going to play standard, okay? You kind of know what the meta is going to be, right? And then, you have your deck and then you go into the queues and then you can just grind out a bunch of games and then make notes of what your matchups are and then kind of see how your deck stacks up to offer all these matchups. So there's definitely uses and applications for all of these things.
It really depends on what you want to do.
Right. That's the thing is you have to answer the question, right? Yeah. You have to answer the question, what is my goal here? Yeah. What am I trying to accomplish? What am I trying to get out of this, this experience, let's say, or or use, right? What am I trying to get out of it personally, right? And then if you can answer that, like just answer that, and then that will kind of dictate what you're like, how you're going to go about accomplishing that goal, basically. So, yeah, and so we've kind of touched on it here already, but like what are the benefits of playing online? So we have all these different ways to play these games online. Like, what are the benefits of playing these things online? And this first one we've already talked about in reference to specifically games like Arena, Magic Arena, and Pokemon Online, is you can jump in immediately and just start playing.
Select your deck and go.
Exactly. So like your single queue, your single player queue, you just jump in and then boom, you're good to go.
Yep.
And then you just go.
Matchmaking is great.
Yep. Correct. So and the benefit there is it doesn't require much coordination, if
Not
any.
to mention, at any time that you want.
Right? That's the thing now. Like with Arena, with Arena and Pokemon Online and Hearthstone, right?
Yeah.
And Legends of Runeterra, right?
Or
All these digital card games.
Online, yeah.
Well, and my mind right now is just thinking about digital card games, right?
Okay.
Is you have all these on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're out and
I was
about.
going to say, Arena just went to the phone, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And Hearthstone's been on it for years. So.
Settlers of Catan. You can play Settlers of Catan on your phone.
Catan is on the phone?
Yes.
Oh,
dude, there's so many. I'm looking at my...
I know Star Realm's on there.
Yeah, Star Realms is on
Realm,
there. What else is on there? I'm just looking at Jim is actually sitting in front of my bookshelf here, and I've got a bunch of games there.
Yeah.
What else is on there that I'm just seeing? I mean, there's Monopoly, Battles. Dude, there's all those games. There's Wingspan, I think you can get on your phone, actually.
Really?
I think.
And aside from board games, there are also like video games from like 20 years ago that you can also have
the
on your
emulators.
phone.
Yeah.
Well, even aside from emulators, just on like the Apple Store, you can get like a bunch of different Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
I've played.
I can't wait till they actually let Pokemon on the store. That'd be great. I know that they do emulators though.
Yeah.
There's no way
There's
would.
no way that's ever going to happen.
Because they have like 3 different companies that own Pokemon. So.
Yeah, that's true. And there's no way Wizards of the Coast, if they have any licensing, there's no way they're ever going to allow that.
For Pokemon?
Yeah.
I don't think Wizards has anything
I
under
think
them.
they do. They have the cards, I believe. I believe they have the actual trading card.
I thought it was Nintendo, Pokemon Company, and something else.
I think Wizards of the Coast. They have
Wizards?
They have something to do with.
I know that they used
trading
to,
cards.
but I didn't know if they did any more.
Oh, maybe
Because
not.
I could have swore the old Pokemon cards. Yeah,
maybe not. You know,
So,
I
don't know. We'll find it.
We'll look into it later. Yeah. I definitely know they used to. Maybe it could have changed recently.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even recently. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the point that I was trying to get across here with games like Arena and Pokemon Online is the lack of coordination that is required to play.
Yeah. You know what I was just thinking about?
What?
So like when we were just talking about you can play the games online whenever it is that you want, find a game of Magic. Correct. I was just like, what if Dan called me at 3:00 in the morning being like, hey, yo, come play a game of Magic against me? And I'm like, Dan, I don't even know why I'm up or answered the phone at 3:00.
Yeah, but you know what? Your next response would be, okay.
What format are we playing, Dan? That's my next question.
And then after that, it would be, okay, I'm on my way.
If you're like, let's 1v1 in Commander, I am not 1v1 in Commander. That is dreadful.
No matter the time of day, you're not doing that. That I know.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, but if I told you we were playing Modern, you'd be like, okay, I'm on my way.
All right, yeah, I might be down.
Yeah, you're down whenever. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
probably. I might be.
Okay.
Anywho.
Okay. So this next point is actually, it is specifically in reference to 2020. One of the other benefits of playing online, okay, and I wrote down, and the only reason I would think about this is because of 2020.
Yeah.
Is playing online, when you're playing online, you can socially distance yourself for those if you're concerned about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming out of the pandemic now.
Yeah.
Finally, and we're starting to get back to normal. I mean, I think I've been back to normal for a while, but just generally as a society, I feel like most people are starting to get there. Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's still plenty of people who are concerned, who are overly concerned, right, about the virus, right? And then that's fine. Sure. That's totally fine. Like if
it's affected a lot of people.
100%. I mean, I think what has it been? Like 500,000 people have died because of the thing.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, if someone is concerned about that, that's totally fine and respectable, right? If they still want to take things extra seriously, or I'm not even going to say seriously because I think most people take it seriously, but if people still want to take extra precautions and they choose to do that, that is totally fine. So you have that capability and you have that option here. Like if you want to go to the game store, but you're not comfortable with it, you know what? Maybe your game store has that kind of offering to where, hey, you can play this online and we'll have people here. And maybe not necessarily here at the store, but people who are a part of that community, like our Discord, if you want to jump on our Discord and you can find people who want to play a game with you, right? Yep. So again, that all comes back to
you guys are down for Modern, let me know.
You guys are down
Even
for
if
anything.
It's 3 a.m.
Brady, I know Brady's told me he was getting into Villainous. I think he just picked it up, right?
Yes, he did.
He just picked it up.
Yeah.
So
I think he was also playing on Tabletop Simulator.
He was playing that on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, when you crack that open, you better show me a picture of that thing. I want to see if you're going to play. So he had asked the expansion that I recommended to get.
Yeah.
So I gave him some recommendations, but like I'm stoked. I'm getting more people into Villainous because it's an amazing game. That's right. So yeah, but yeah, jump on our Discord. Jump on the Discord, and that's getting you involved in a community of like-minded gamers or individuals. That hey, if you have this desire, you want to play. Get involved with the community and say, hey, I'm here. I'd like to play this game. Can someone play? I guarantee you, especially Discord, you find the right communities. There's going to be people there who will want to get you into these games.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in there that play a lot of different games.
Oh, yes.
Whether it's card games, board games, minis game. You like Warhammer?
People have been posting in the Warhammer 40K channel.
Oh, man, damn. My minis are looking great.
They are looking great, man. The pictures you're sharing, they look legit. Have you painted minis before?
So those 3 that I just painted are now my 6th total painting. So I've painted a little bit.
So 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah, okay. 4, 5, and 6.
Very nice. They look very good.
Thank you.
What else are you going to do with them?
What do you mean?
Like, are you painting more, or because I think you also said you were...
eventually I'm going to get I also have other little minis, but where I was going with that, I was going to be like, what do you mean? Now I can finally play the game of Warhammer.
that too.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. I wasn't actually looking for a real response there, Dan. But yeah, I do have other minis that I have to paint up for my army as well.
Yeah.
So... yeah, it's getting there, and I'm glad my friends got me into the game. It's a really cool game.
Yeah, it looks fun, and that's another one that I haven't played, but it does look fun.
Yeah. Oh, Dan,
it looks fun.
Dan. All right, Dan. This game, right?
Jim.
So
Jim,
you can play up to like 2,000 points. I think even higher. All these different minis have ranges from like 5 points to like 500 points. Okay. So depending on what you have inside your army, that's how many points you're going to play with, up to like a cap of what people agree on. But since they do different things, we're back to the theory crafting like I get from my online games and deck builders.
Okay.
So constructed
you
like
can
magic.
Play around with your points.
Exactly.
And,
so say
you're
like
allocating.
This. Yeah. So say like this one tank is 175 points.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to play 3 of them. But the meta doesn't really say that it's good to play 3 of them.
Okay.
So you take one out, throw other things that can fill its place for the 170 points that are good for the certain meta builds that you're going to be going up against.
Yeah.
Or then you realize that like, oh, well, these guys in melee range aren't that great. So I'm going to have to take off these weapons and put on their guns and hand grenade because a lot of people are using Zerg effects.
Okay.
So the theory crafting behind this is it's a little high.
Yeah, I mean, and I know how you feel about theory crafting, so that is definitely, that sounds like it is definitely right up your alley.
Yeah, once I really dove into it head first, I'm like, I've been obsessed with it. I've been obsessed.
I can tell. Because it seems like for the past few days, all you've been doing is painting those minis.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
So that explains a lot. Oh man! All right. So after going over, the ways to play, and just the benefits of playing online, right? Mm-hmm. So now I kind of want to just talk about what are the pros and cons kind of playing online. Basically, what we're essentially doing is kind of comparing and contrasting playing online versus in person. So I think the first one that I kind of wanted to touch on here was just setup. Mm-hmm. Okay. So one thing that I was thinking, because what we often like to do, Jim, is when we're because we have a lot of kind of meetings kind of online, like through Discord or Zoom, when we're just chatting. Mm-hmm. The nice thing that I can do with that is, how easy it is to record that?
Yeah.
It is so easy. If we're just chatting online through Discord or Zoom, the ability to record that is so easy. It's as simple, literally, as pushing a button.
Yeah.
So the setup is essentially built in to the setup is essentially built into the whole process, right? Of doing of having this experience online. So that's already built in to where it's the recording process is basically press a button, right? Mm-hmm. But if we wanted to record an in-person meeting, that requires quite a bit more setup, right?
Yeah.
You've got the camera that you got to set up if you want to record high-quality audio. Mm-hmm. If you want it to look good, you got to worry about lighting. There's so many things you have to worry about. Now, granted, it is super easy to where, again, we're talking about technology, right? Yeah. Grab your phone, put it on a tripod, and then just hit record and go.
Yeah.
Is it going to look the greatest? Maybe not. Is it going to sound the greatest? No. But you have that capability, right?
Yeah.
So it is still very, very easy, right?
Not to mention, if you ever just set it up and like leave it in its location,
then
it's just turn it on, ready.
Right. So like for people who have a studio, right? If you have a studio that is like specifically built for playing tabletop games, right? You keep that, and if you keep that set up all the time, then you use that table all the time to play, and then you can, you got the best of both worlds now, right? Yep. So that is a benefit, right? So, but for the layperson who's normally all they just do is they just go online at their desk, right? Yeah. If you have that set up, then really, if you want to record it, it's very, very easy, right? So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to touch on. The second was communication. Okay, and so kind of what I was thinking about when I had written this down was if you're sitting across a table from somebody, communicating with them is very, very easy, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting right in front of you. You see them. You can see all of their movements, their hand gestures, and you can hear all the inflections in their voice. Communicating with someone in person is very easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Online, it is still easy, but there's a lot of variables that then come into play. Internet connection, number one. Number two, what kind of application are you using? Is it push to talk, right?
I hate push to talk.
No, but right. like Discord and Zoom, like they'll recognize if you're talking and then they'll unmute your mic type thing. Yeah.
The voice activation stuff.
Right. And how many times, audience, have you been on a Zoom call and you've heard, Jim, you're on mute. Can you please unmute yourself? Please unmute yourself. You're talking. Hello? I see you talking, but I don't hear anything coming out of your mouth. Please unmute yourself.
Okay.
So, like, that's just a good example, right?
Mike's muted. That's all I tell people. I'm like, dude, Mike's muted.
Yep. And then how often are they like fumbling to search for, give me a second. I mean, it's happened to everybody, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting across from somebody, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right. And the other thing too is, like with chatting, like let's say you're text chatting. Mm-hmm. I hate text chatting. Why do I?
It's kind of the worst.
It is. Like, it's nice. It's nice. Like, the ability, the capability is nice. Okay. Yeah. I like having the capability. But, Jim, I hate texting you because you are so sarcastic all the time. And sometimes I'm like, hey, is this guy, like, really ticked off with me? Or, like, is he being sarcastic? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it gets lost. Huh. It gets lost.
I don't remember ever being, like, mad in a text with you, Dan.
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay. In general. All right. I'm like, Dan, this has never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. It has never happened. It 100% has never, ever happened with you. It has happened with plenty of other people.
Yeah.
But not with you. But yeah, like that happens. Like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like
because you overthink it.
Let me call. No, right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's you overthink. It's like, okay, just let me call this person real quick. Hey, are you mad at me? I mean, come on. Who's ever done it? Yeah, me right here. This guy.
Definitely.
This guy right here. Oh my goodness. So in all of these, I mean, like we said before, technology has come so sinking far. Yeah. And again, this device here, this phone, it's amazing. It's amazing what this little thing is capable of now.
Yeah. Like
literally everything that we do in society, we can essentially do it on our phone. Like
don't worry, it's always listening to you anyway. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Change my mind, Dan.
You're not wrong. I can't change your mind because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the biggest thing here, really in this whole conversation, right? It ultimately, we've mentioned it here before already, but ultimately comes down to facilitating human interaction. Okay.
Yep.
There's nothing that's going to replace this human interaction in person, right? Yep. So like Jim is sitting across from the table from me right now.
Hello, Dan.
So, and it's very interesting, right? So right now I've got headphones on, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm hearing your voice, but like I don't hear you straight into my ears, right?
Yeah.
I hear you through your microphone.
Yeah. You hear digital
going through this mixer into my headphones. It's a completely different thing when I hear you in person.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. Okay. But that's kind of because this is like how important I think all of this essentially is. Right. Mm-hmm. But before I get a little too far ahead of myself, right. But what I do kind of want to touch on here, I kind of really dig into here, is just facilitating human interaction, right? So everything that we've kind of talked about today so far is essentially kind of been about talking and communicating, interacting with other people, right? Mm-hmm. And so essentially what we're just trying to do is just duplicate, and not necessarily duplicate, right? But probably more so imitate communicating with other people, right? And so, we're taking all of these other, like you think about meeting, like these online meetings, right? Mm-hmm. Like from the tabletop space, essentially what we're just trying to do is like we're taking over that medium and then just kind of trying to, okay, how can we take this and then just apply it to our purpose here? Like what we want to do, play this game on this tabletop with other people. Mm-hmm. And so we're just trying to take all of these other mediums essentially and then apply it to what we're doing here. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, all of this is coming back to facilitating again. I feel like I've said this like 5 times already. It's crazy, but just facilitating human interaction, right? Like it's very easy to do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's something I think we take for granted. But everything that we've talked about today, right? Even sitting across the table from one another, to text chatting, to meeting online through video software. It's
Any
all
voice chat.
It's all essentially doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So we are communicating with one another through some medium. Okay. But the biggest thing that that I think I can really say in this whole conversation is nothing is ever going to duplicate that feeling of doing it live.
Yeah.
Of in person. And that's kind of what I was talking about when I was saying, Jim, I'm hearing you right now, but through my headphones, right?
Yeah.
Because I have headphones on and I hear you, but it's not. I'm not getting your voice directly into my ears. It's through.
Yeah.
It's through these headphones. It's different. It's slightly different, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing. No video chat software, no text chatting. Nothing is ever going to duplicate, and not duplicate, but take the place of meeting online. Or excuse me.
Or if it does, it's going to be a long time in the future to where you could be like, I am 3D sitting right next to you and everything looks real.
It's not going to be the same though.
I know it's not going to be the same,
Right.
but it could be really close.
We have VR now, right?
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that we didn't even really touch on is VR, right?
yeah.
VR is a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure like if you have Oculus or something, and I'm sure that there are those applications to where you can play tabletop games, right? And you can play them with other people. I'm sure that they're out there.
Yeah.
I don't have experience with it, but I'm sure they're out there, right? But even in VR, there's nothing that's going to be the same as.
Have you ever seen Ready Player One, Dan?
Dude, that is one of my favorite books of all
Dan,
time.
I'm just saying it could be the thing that it's pretty much the same, especially with the full.
Okay, even in Ready Player
touch.
One, right? But even in Ready Player One, oh man, now I'm trying to remember the name of the protagonist in that book.
Yeah,
Have you read the book or did you just watch?
I just
the movie?
watched the movie.
Okay, dude, you need to read the book.
I probably won't, Dan.
Did you? Okay, but let me ask you this: did you enjoy the movie?
Yes.
Okay, you will love the book. 100%, you'd love the book.
Do I have to read it?
I actually listened to it on audiobook. That's
okay.
actually what I did.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Yeah. I listened to the whole thing in audiobook on Audible. We're not sponsored by Audible.
We're not. I was about to say, oh man, here comes the sponsorship. That would have worked out great if we were.
Worked out real great.
But we're not.
Yeah, Amazon, if you want to sponsor us, go right ahead. Yeah, we'd be down for it. You can just see us in the description. All our contact info's there.
Yeah. Email, whatever you need.
But no. The book is way better.
Okay.
100%. And honestly, it is very different. There's a lot of things that are different in the book, but the book is 100% way better. But anyway, I did love the movie.
Yeah.
And the reason I loved the movie was because I loved the book so much.
I hated the movie, Dan.
What?
I hated that movie.
You hated that movie?
Because do you know how badly I want it to be real? You have no clue how badly I want that to be real, and it probably won't be in my lifetime.
Ah, dude. Yeah. Well, you want that reality to be real? Because that was a terrible reality.
No, not the reality. The Oasis.
Oh, the Oasis?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The Oasis is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Oasis is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so you bring that up, and very timely, I might add. But even the Oasis, the people in the Oasis knew that wasn't reality, and like not even so much that they knew it wasn't the reality, but nothing like the Oasis could not even come close to what reality was.
Which is why spoilers, guys. Which is why at the end,
if you haven't seen the
shut
movie,
down the stuff.
Yes.
Well, like 2 days a week or something.
They essentially did. Yeah.
Yep.
If you haven't read the book, I'm going to plug the book over the movie. Go read the book first. Read the book first.
If you guys don't want to read, go watch the movie. It does a great job.
Or go to Amazon.com/audible and get your free trial.
/hobbies and happiness. Oh, no, we don't have that yet.
But no, seriously, like listen to the book, read the book. I'm telling you, Jim, just listen to the book, man. Like you'll love it. I guarantee.
If I can find it, sure.
It's on Audible.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was kind of a nice segue, but we're not even segueing. But okay, so I have a story here that I kind of want to kind of touch on here because it really kind of highlights this. Okay, so this past weekend, my daughter had her dance recital. Okay, so she takes ballet. She absolutely loves it. And they just had her recital. Okay, so only parents were allowed to be in the recital. Okay, so it was me and my wife. And so I had my camera. I was snapping a bunch of pictures. Yeah. And then my wife was taking some video. Okay. So during the course of the recital, right, I'm snapping away, and then I'm also taking breaks from taking pictures because I want to enjoy it. Like I want it to be present and watch it. Okay.
Yeah, in that moment. And my wife was the same way. And because she was, she's taking video, and then she stopped taking video, and then was just watching. And I said, I looked at her, and I'm like, "Are you not videoing this? You're not videoing this part?" And then she goes, "No, I just want to be present, and I want to watch it." Yeah. It's completely different. And I'm sure the audience and I'm sure you've all been there, right? Where you have your phone out or you have a camera out, and you're watching this event take place before your eyes, right? Whatever it is. I remember going to the Blackhawks parade when they won Stanley Cup however many years ago. Yep. And I had my phone out, my camera out, right? And like as the floats are going by, like you're watching this happen, but through the viewfinder of your camera or on the screen of your phone. There was one time that I don't even remember what the event was, but I'm documenting this, I'm videoing this, and then I'm watching it on my screen. Then I put the phone down, and then I'm just watching it, and then I put the phone up, and then down, and then up, and then down, because I just wanted to see like how it felt just watching this thing happen in front of my eyes, versus watching it through a viewfinder. Yeah, it's completely different. Do you know what I'm talking about, though, right? It's also like the same thing of watching any sports game.
Yes.
Right? And being at a sports game. Like whenever I watch baseball on TV, I'm just like, all right, yeah, sure, it's fun to watch sometimes, but going to the park is completely different.
And honestly, like with a sports game, right? Mm-hmm. It's more than just, well, now that I'm here, I can actually get up and then go get food. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's part of it, sure. But even if you were to go to the game and not leave your seat and just watch the game in its totality, just watching it, it is still 1,000 times better of being there in person, watching that event live.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing that's ever going to take the place.
You get to see all the people there as well, even if you're just not even really watching the game so much.
Right.
Hanging out with whoever it is there. Right. Whoever goes with you or people watching. It's a completely different experience.
Right. So let's bring this full circle now. So now we talk about playing these games online versus playing these games in person. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even just talking about go to your local store, right? Just playing a game at your kitchen table, right? There's nothing that's going to take the place of that experience. Like, let's say you have your family that you play with, okay? You play over the table. You get that same group of people, okay? And then you play that game on a webcam. It's not going to be the same. It's just not. Yeah. And I submit to you all here today that doing it live and in person is 1,000 times better.
A wise man once said, "F it, we're doing it live."
Yes, that man was very wise.
He was definitely a man, Dan.
Amen. I like it. Yeah, so honestly, like, if you can only have these experiences with playing these games online through webcam with a community or like Tabletop Simulator, like we've said, then great. Like, do it. Like, I'd much rather you have these experiences with these games and play them versus not play them at all and not have those experiences at all. But I urge you, find a community,
Yep.
Find a local community that you can have these experiences with and play these games with in person when you're comfortable. Okay. Again, a lot of it, like I said, comes down to your comfort level, right?
Yep.
What you're comfortable with to a point, because at some point you are going to have to come out of your shell. Like if you are not comfortable going out and meeting new people, going to a game store, do it. Get out of your shell. That's what all of us had to do. We've all had to do it.
Yeah.
We've all had to break out of that uncomfortableness.
Bring
right?
someone with you.
Yes, bring someone
The
with
first
you.
time I went was with my sister.
Yep.
So
The first time I went was by myself.
Yeah.
First time I went to F&M was by myself. I built a deck and then said, F it, I'm doing it live. So, it's at some point you are going to have to get out of your shell. If you have that shell, you're going to have to come out of it.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about it as well. Like playing the game is part of the fun, but the other part is who you're playing the game with.
Right. Right. And you know what? Like you said this already here tonight, but like you got to answer the question for yourself. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is your goal?
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to just get better, right, then play Arena. Sure. Like if that's all you want to do, go ahead, go for it.
Or
like,
play whatever the board game is.
correct.
Online. Yeah.
Right. If that's what you want to do, you want to be in the next Catan World Championship, which I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I think there are.
I'm sure there are.
I know there is for Pandemic.
Yes.
I know that there are tournaments for Pandemic.
If you're not aware, Pandemic is a board game.
Yeah.
It is not COVID related.
Apparently, the U.S. is winning that game. I don't know. Last I knew, I don't know. The numbers could have changed.
Yeah, so Pandemic is a board game. But yeah, they have all these tournaments for these board games.
Yeah.
And like if that's what you're trying to get out of this game, great. Like then honestly, there's probably nothing that's going to stand in your way of having that experience.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to tabletop gaming as a hobby, as a genre, just as a as a part of your life,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Than just a game. Okay. Honestly, and Jim, I feel like Jim says this all the time. It's the stories that you make, the people you meet, and these experiences that you have when you're sitting around the table playing whatever game it is. It doesn't have to be Magic, doesn't have to be Wingspan, doesn't have to be Seven Wonders, does not matter what the game is.
Yep.
It's that you are playing something around a table
Yep.
and are meeting with people, and honestly, maybe even people you've never met before. Right. And honestly, maybe that experience sucks. Like seriously, like that happens.
I think we all have bad experiences,
happens.
right?
And you know what? Maybe you go to the same place next week and it sucks again because the people there suck. I don't like saying suck, but I'm, like that's really a good way to say it's terrible. So like, and then the next week you say, you know what? The 2 times that I've been there, it has been terrible. I'm going to go to a new place. Right? But it's that element of getting yourself out there and then experiencing all that really is involved with this hobby and just this space in general that, it's going, I submit to you, you're going to have a great time. Even if your first couple times are bad, you're going to be glad that you got out there and then you experienced it, right?
Yeah.
So get out there, really, find an LGS, find a community, jump on our Discord, find and meet people. The opportunities, honestly, the opportunities are endless. They really are. See, like even with playing online, right? The biggest benefit to not even playing online, but just meeting people, right? Meeting online. So kind of off topic, but not really. I was scrolling my phone not that long ago, right? And so I'm a part of this church media group on Facebook, okay? And it's honestly, it's like a bunch of church tech team people who kind of post like what their setups are and problems if they have any. And somebody posted a picture of a chat that they were having, and that there was a husband and wife, I think it was, who had come to their church and got baptized because they started watching their church services online when the pandemic hit.
Oh,
so when the pandemic hit, they were watching their services online, and they came from out of state. And then just came in and got baptized because of their online ministry. Wow. So that's technology, right? That's how technology evolve or die, right? Evolve or die. That church embraced the technology, live streamed, which like a lot of churches have done since the pandemic hit, right? And they were able to reach this family I don't know how many states away, and that they came out and then got baptized in that church. And that's awesome. That is very cool. Like seeing that, I'm like, wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So again, that honestly goes back to you're being a part of this community and you're meeting people.
Yep.
And like in this case, that's a life-changing experience.
Yep.
And that is what you're being a part of, right? It's not. It's way more than playing a game, playing a tabletop game, playing a board game, playing a card game.
These aren't just games,
right? And that's like, if I can leave you with one thing, it's that it's not about the game. It's not about the board game. It's not about the card game. Yep. It is way more than that. Yep. It is about the community that you are being a part of. That's what is key. That's what you want to find. Right, because you can play this game anywhere. Like we've said, you can play it online.
It doesn't even have to be a big community. Even if you come across one person that you've met from playing these games or going out there and finding it, and they're a friend for you. They turn into a best friend. I still talk to people to this day that I've known for a bunch of years now from playing these games, and it's just like they're a huge part of my life now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And why? It's not because of the game, right?
Yeah.
That's
it
not
has
why they're part of your games.
With the game. Yeah.
But that's how that relationship kind of was formed. That's how it started. That's how you met, right?
Yep.
And that's what these games are, right? Is they're a catalyst. Yeah. Like they're a catalyst, and that's a point of commonality that you have with all these other people that are in your LGS, for instance, right? So it really is much more, in our point of view, it really is much more than these games that you're playing. Yeah. Now they're awesome. Don't get me wrong.
There are a lot of good ones out there.
They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, I think what a lot of us, and what me and Jim specifically, what we see and what we're looking for is we're looking to honestly build our community with like-minded people. Yep. I mean, just honestly foster good relationships with everyone involved in these communities. And that is where you're going to have a good community, a good group of people, large or small. And obviously what we're looking for is we are wanting to build our community to the moon, right? We want it to grow, and we want it to be a good and healthy place for people just to come and meet other people, right?
Hopefully, we got a seat right next to Dogecoin, right?
Yeah, to the moon. Fingers crossed, right?
Right next to GameStop.
Yeah, who knows where that's going? I'm still surprised that their stock is where it is, dude.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Game stonks.
Yeah, game stonks.
Dude, that's crazy. I could not believe when that thing took off, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
that's a different story.
Yeah, completely different. So I mean, we like we've been talking about, we want this community and all these communities to be a good place for people, but the harsh reality and the sad reality is sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about next week. Is we're going to talk about the toxic communities and how these communities become toxic. Because if you've ever been online, you know what we're talking about. If you've ever been on Twitter, you know what we're talking about. You guys have
ever played on the golden era of Xbox 360, Xbox Live.
Dude, forget about the golden era of any of that, man. It's now.
It's still today, yeah.
It's now, man. Like
you play League of Legends.
It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. It gets worse. It gets worse. And honestly, like having these in-person live communities like in game stores, right?
Yeah.
I think it helps because there's some people who the things that they say online they would never say to somebody who's standing in front of them, right?
And if they do, well,
bad things are going to happen.
bad things could happen. You never know. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, you never know. But that's what we're going to talk about next week because it's honestly it's kind of like the inverse of everything that we've been talking about today. You know, in this episode. Like it's the kind of the flip side of the coin.
Yeah, we haven't gone over the bad stuff. For this.
Yeah.
For both of these.
So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Even if you're not really, I think you should just stay tuned. For next week. Hit us up next week, and we'll be talking about that. So So Jim, where can people find you online, man?
Well, my Instagram and Twitter is at Jim Morgan, HNH.
Yep. And then you can hit me up on Twitter _DG Campbell. And then you can hit me up on Instagram at Daniel.G.Campbell. That's where you can find me. And then emails. You can email us at hobbiesandhappiness@gmail.com.
Yep.
If you're a part of good community, let us know. We want to hear your guys' stories, honestly. You got good stories, we want to hear them. You got bad stories, we want to hear those.
Oh, yeah.
If you got
prefer bad stories.
Anything that you want to let us know, we are always game for. And like we mentioned previously in this episode, find us on Discord. You can find us on our Discord community. Link for that is in the description, in the show notes below. You can check that out. And then also one thing that is kind of new for us is we are now finally posting these on YouTube. All right, so we don't got video yet, but
soon.
We got something.
Soon, Dan.
We've got something, so we're starting to get YouTube content out for you. So maybe you're watching us on YouTube right now, and again watching, quote unquote.
Yeah,
maybe you are, but we are finally starting that. So check us out there, and then lastly, find us on any of the major podcasting platforms. Leave us a review. We greatly appreciate any and all feedback you give. And honestly, just thanks for being here. We appreciate all of you. And honestly, tune in next week to our toxic communities discussion. And
I'm just sad thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't really want to think about it. I don't want to think about it anymore, Jim.
All right, have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks for being here. All right, bye.